So today I want to expand on the previous video that we did where we talked about how to deal with large groups during SHTF. We got some interesting answers on that, and also YouTube seemed to have lost around 10 or 12 comments because they disappeared before I could actually look at them when the video first went up. So if you're one of the people that left a comment, take a look, and if it's not there, put it back up. That way we can share information. Now, a lot of people took and put the groups in the previous video in kind of the same group and addressed them as a group. So what we want to do is expand our exercise a little bit, and let's look at some personalities and groups that are quite different than Pastor Joe Fox, Bear Independent, Full Spectrum Survival, Asymmetrical Preparedness. So today, let's look at Florida Maquis and Southern Prepper 1. Now, what's interesting about these two people and the group they represent is a lot of their philosophical background and beliefs are very different. They're both on the freedom front, but they come at it from different ways. So if we look at Southern Prepper 1, he kind of falls more into the same category I see myself and a lot of my viewers in, where he's preparing, he's doing skills training, he's going to help other people. He's going to negotiate trade, so on and so forth, but he has the capacity to defend his community. So when we look at him, it's a Christian perspective, and it's a traditional Christian perspective. Now, when we look at Florida Maquis, his channel is pretty much a psychological operation. He claims a special forces background, a Christian perspective, but his Christian perspective is more liberalized when it comes to morality than most Christians. So when you look at Florida Maquis, he's more of a socialist bent, and he also believes that the age of consent should be lower than it is now, and that there should be more freedom with sex workers and other people. So what we're going to do here is compare and contrast. So how would you negotiate with Southern Prepper 1 versus how would you negotiate with Florida Maquis? If you interacted with them in the scenarios we talked about before, would that generate a military response, a negotiated response, or would you isolate and separate? So when we talk about Florida Maquis, we know that he has special forces background, negotiation background, psych ops background. So how would you go about negotiating or operating a conflict with him? Because any premise you went in with, if he's a master negotiator, you may never know his premise where he's negotiating from. And he would use negotiation as a weapon against you to buy time, to get the upper hand, to cause confusion. So how would we work with that? So when we look at Southern Prepper 1, we look at him as a line infantry non-commissioned officer, career military, a lot of field experience. We don't know what his negotiating background is. That's something you'd have to research. And you know, he has a lot of skills and he concentrates on skills. But he's also open to trade, negotiation, and so forth. So how would you deal with him? What would your basis of negotiation be with him? What assumptions would you make? What would your premise be to start negotiation? How would you handle that? So Share your thoughts. We'll see you on the next video.